What's up, YouTube fans? Today I want to take a look at the KFC Kingorilla, their version of a Masterpiece Apeface. So this is the plus version, their painted metallic version. Their second version to come out, and I got this along with the Kingzilla, their version of Snapdragon. So kind of finishes off the horror cons for me anyway. I never actually got the original, so this is my first experience with this guy. So I don't have the original to bring in and to compare here, but I will put an image up a little bit later. But this guy is nicely painted right out of the box. You got that nice metallic purple paint on the arms, chest, legs, and face. Red for the eyes. All the white you see is painted. This little accents here, red and yellow, red here, yellow here on the feet. We'll see more of this in the jet mode, but all this maroon you see there is painted. So that looks nice. The head, and I'm going to be careful this time because I don't want to break it, but the head does pop out of here. And it's actually a two-sided head, and we'll see that more in the Gorilla mode. If you open this up, you can put this in here, and you can see it's populating his speed, strength, and intelligence, just like the original Headmasters. That's kind of cool. Coming to the back, here's what the backpack looks like. You can reconfigure this if you want to. So you can take these and rotate this up. And it will eventually collide with this hand. So basically get it right to there. Then you can rotate this so that these vents are on the front. And it's straight like that. It does end up making his backpack a little bit further backwards, and he's already backpack heavy, so you might be putting a little more stress, a little more weight. You can see he leans back just a little bit on these feet, but it does stand. It's just he does lean back. I end up kind of rotating the legs so his legs are facing outwards, and that kind of helps. But this is another option for configuration. If you wanted to, you can have it like this. Another thing you do is fold the hands out, and you can get this a little bit closer to the body. I think it looks better with the hands down, but either way, you can kind of reconfigure it however you like. Personally, I think that looks a little bit better, but now his backpack is not hidden. So your choice, you can do it however you like. All right, let's go over his articulation. The head is on a swivel, rotates around. It doesn't go up and down. I'm not going to push it because I don't want to break it like I did with the other one. Shoulder rotates around on a ratchet joint, up to the side on a ratchet joint, all the way up to there. Pretty nice. The shoulders can come off. There's a little peg holding it on. If you rotate this way, this one on my copy tends to pop out when you rotate the bicep swivel. So just keep in mind those might pop out, but you can rotate at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow. It doesn't get to full bend, but you have a nice cover down piece in the middle there. I think that looks good. For the hands, you have a rotation joint here. The fingers are fiddly and spindly like the old style KFC. They're on a ball joint and then two pins. And the thumb is on a ball joint and a pin. It's just that they're loose, and I wish they used the new design. They were redoing this figure anyway. Might as well just put new hands, the style, like Ultra Magnus style. And it doesn't really bother you until you get to transformation, and then it gets in your way. And I'll show you that a little bit later. For the waist, it rotates around on a ratchet joint. For the legs, there's a hip skirt here, and the legs can go up to there. Back to here, I believe there's a hip skirt here, and all of this will move out of the way, but this panel is getting stuck for me, and I'm not about to break it and bend it past its point, so I'm going to leave that alone. But it does look like there's a hip skirt here that should be able to move, but I can get it back to there without forcing it. Goes out to the side of the ratchet, nice strong ratchet, holds the leg up there. You have a rotation at the thigh. These are not on ratchets like Kingzilla was, so weird difference there. You have a double jointed knee, so if you bend to the top joint first, you can get the full bend there. So that's nice. You have ankle tilt on a friction joint, goes both directions. You can get up and down on that joint as well, and you can rotate just a bit there due to that joint. So that's different than what we had on Kingzilla as well. For his accessories, you get a couple of things here. You get the blaster done in maroon and silver, and then a translucent piece here. It does actually light up, so I put batteries in this one. And let's see, you hold it like this, put the handle down, press that button, and you get that nice light up effect. It does look pretty darn good. I didn't have enough batteries for both, but this can be used, of course, in the hand. But there you go. He has two big blasters there, and you can light them up. Pretty nice. He also comes with this, which is part of the alt mode, but you can use it as a shield, or you can put it on his back. So you can put it here, kind of like a shield or whatever you want. You could put it here, although it's not the most convenient fit, but it does fit there, side of the arm. And then if you come to the back here, and we'll take the guns out of his hands. And yes, he's a little back heavy here. You're going to take this, you're going to rotate these down, just like there. So until you get that line kind of on an angle. You're going to take these guns, you're going to fold up the handles. That'll reveal these tabs here, so you can tab that in. And of course you can store this without the guns on it too, but put that there. And then you can lift this up. Tab right there goes into that slot. And you can basically store the whole thing. Bring this back down on top. And now you got that nice storage for the weapons. I kind of like that. So at the very least, you can store the shield back there, which I don't think I would use anyways. If I was displaying him, I'd probably put it on his backpack anyway. But it does kind of look like a jetpack or something back here. So I kind of dig that. I like that they gave you that option. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Fans Toys version of Skull Cruncher and his compadre here, Kingzilla, their version of Snapdragon. They do look nice together. I like the kind of complementing colors. And he fits in nicely as far as the scale. He's a little bit taller. It looks like just maybe at the shoulder wise, he's a little bit taller. Now, I did forget to mention the hip ratchets here. That first tooth is a little too wide, just like this guy was. So he ends up standing very wide on the first ratchet click, just like this guy. But that's how they designed it, I guess. But there you go for size comparison. And because tradition, there it is next to the Magic Square Optimus Prime for a sense of size. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his jet mode. So first off, let's take off the Headmaster head, carefully, of course. And we can just open up the legs. And here he is. It actually looks really good. It's very nicely painted and sculpted. You can pull the legs apart there. Arms are on a ball joint. You can bend the arms at 90 degrees. These are pinned instead of screwed in like the other one. Legs are on a ball joint. Goes a little bit out, forward to there, back to there. Knee can bend less than 90 degrees. And then you have a toe there. There are magnets in the feet. And that's what that little metal plate was for when I showed in the unboxing. Here's the back, by the way. That other head is there. And you can rotate the head on this Headmaster. But if you bring in this little metal plate, you can set that aside. Now, he does stand on his own, so I'm not really sure you need it. I guess it's hard to make him stand. But anyway, you can use those magnetic feet to have him stand more readily, and then he won't fall down. So let's start off with the arms. We're going to get the arms rotated up to here. Rotate the hands to the side. And we're going to open up this panel here. The hands have to be folded perfectly. Otherwise you'll have trouble. And rotate the hand like this. Make sure the thumb is down. It will not fit if you put it on top. It has to be perfect. And then you're going to rotate that in. Getting it back out, you're going to pull here. Don't pull on the fingers because you'll probably break the fingers. Close that up. Same thing on this side. Rotate. Right now we got both arms done. We can take care of some of the backpack So we can basically just unpeg this from here. It'll give you a little bit of room to work. I'm going to take the midsection and you're going to extend so it ends up like that all the way out. Next we're going to work on these arms. So unpeg these from here. And we're going to take these, slide these up as far as they'll go. You can straighten this up. And we're going to rotate this around so you have the flat side down. And then just peg this back in for now. And it might pop out on you, but that's how it should be. All right, next we're going to take care of these legs. So come to the bottom here, you can just set that backpack on the top. Fold the heel, fold the toe on both sides. And we're going to bring the legs out to the side. There's a button right here. That button will release the leg and allow you to collapse down. Do that on both sides. I notice a little bit of paint rubbing here, so just be careful with that. Alright. Next we're going to take, and make sure these are all the way down. Next we're going to take this hip skirt panel here. You might need a spudger because the paint actually makes it very tight. You can pop that panel out. That's going to allow you to take these legs. Actually, we're going to unpeg this as well. So you need to open this up just enough. I can't get this to rotate more than that, but that's all you need because that'll release these two little tabs here. Okay, so get those rotated out. And these are going to end up inside of here. Actually, we can rotate this out of the way now so you can see what I'm doing. These are going to end up folding down and over the top of the foot, or the heel of the foot. It's going to go over this piece, and this is going to come down and into here. It's a very tight fit, so I recommend kind of giving it a little bit of support to push this in, but ultimately you want it to be flush against the side. And then you can kind of see this is going to make its way down into here. All right. Once you do that, you can bring this straight forward. And we can, actually we're just going to leave this hand straight for now. Rotate that down, and that can just sit like that. Right. Same on this side, we can, and you can kind of see there's a peg right here. It's going to peg into the arm. And I have that on the wrong side. So we're going to rotate this, and now you can see there's a slot that the peg's going to fit into. So you can attach that. Same on this side, rotate that once, and then peg that in. Right, so it should look like that. All right, we'll come back to the bottom here, and this panel that we folded in, you're just going to tuck that right under there. Open up these panels here. Bring this back down. There's two tabs are going to fit into here. So get this down. There we go. Yeah. Make sure you're folding this double hinge downwards, otherwise you're going to have trouble getting that all the way down. All right. These are going to flip to the other side. So basically sit like that. Come to the top here, we're going to take this whole panel, rotate this forward. There's a little peg and a notch there, so just get that pegged into there. And you can flatten that piece down there. Bring this all the way flat, and then come to the bottom here, and we'll take care of this. There's two little pegs here, so bring these pegs downwards. There's no tab in right here. These pieces of plastic are very soft, so just be gentle with them. They don't inspire confidence, at least in my eyes anyway. But that's what kind of holds that there. Right. Last little bit here, this is going to rotate all the way back, and sorry, this way. And it's going to sit right under here. There's a little lip that you have to get this in, but it will sit like that. There's a tab right here that's going to go into a slot right there. So line that up and get that pegged in and give that a nice squeeze. All right, so we'll do the same thing on this side. Come to here, you're going to open up this wing. So open that up, open that up, open that, and flatten this out. And there's one wing. We're going to take this panel here and orient it like this with this part in the front. That's going to fit perfectly into this little slot right here. Give that a nice push because it is a tight fit due to the paint, I guess. You can angle these up or whatever you want. Oh, this came out. There we go. And you can come to the bottom here, and we're going to fold out the landing gear. So open up this landing gear right here, and that's going to just click into place. These are just plastic wheels. See on the back, fold this up, and it's going to click into place. It's very tight, but there you go. And then this one. All right, and there is Kingorilla in his spaceship mode, and I think this looks awesome, personally. I really like how this looks. The back is a little bit uncleanly. You do have the hands down here, but other than that, I do really like how this looks. It's pretty clean overall. The fingers, you can kind of, I just put them flat, but it does roll on those wheels. Pretty nice looking. I did put batteries in here. So if you open up this cockpit, the button is right there, so you can see it. And if I open this, it automatically clicks that button for you as you open it. Isn't that interesting? And you know, kind of, if you put it back and you try to close this, it will collide. So do not try to close this with this off. You'll break it. So put that back on, close it, and then you can turn that off. Right? The gimmick is that it turns on as you open the cockpit. But that looks really cool. If you turn that off, you can see it's just, you know, LED in there. We can take this guy, fold his legs up, and I like to tab them together too. And then he will fit in here. Get his arms forward so he can be steering the ship or whatever, driving. And by the way, the battery for this is the same as the other guy, the Kingzilla figure. Right, and then you can close this up. Have something. All right, there we go. And now he can fly around, and we can turn this off if you don't want to waste the batteries. But really cool. I really like the way that looks and the fact that he can sit in there, and it looks like he's driving. The wheels work well. You can put this away since, you know, he's not standing anymore. If we bring in this flight stand here, just like for Kingzilla, there's a little slot on the bottom. You can get that plugged in right here. And he will sit on that flight stand. And that's pretty cool. It's a really cool way to display this guy. In fact, I'll probably put him like this. You also get the blast effects, which the same ones we got for Kingzilla. And those will plug into there. Very nice. We also can take the guns here, and now that we have that peg, these ones don't plug into the wings, but they do plug in a couple different spots. You can plug them in here. I guess you could plug them in here. I actually think that might look the best. But whatever you want, I just think, you know, it's kind of your choice. I think up here is probably going to give it the best, most aggressive look, and then you can turn these on. I only have one battery in, but yeah, that's really cool. All right, now let's get him transformed into his gorilla mode. Go ahead and remove the wing here and just set that aside. We're going to remove this guy because we're going to need him. And remember, it's going to turn the switch on, so just remember to turn it off after. But lift up his arms, get him out of here. It will sometimes pop this open. By the way, since I have it out, you can see the battery there. One of those bigger watch batteries. Right? You can close this up and then turn off the switch. You can't do it in the opposite order. You got to turn off the switch after. All right, we're going to take this guy, get the arms down to the side, and then we're going to bring this down, and he's ready. So we can set that aside. Now let's take care of this guy. And this part of the transformation is not very fun. It actually is kind of a pain, and some of the things are not intuitive either. go ahead and fold these landing gear back down. I will say these landing gear fold away better than the Kingzilla version. I'm going to unpeg these from here. And we can take this whole assembly. We're going to unpeg basically all of this. So unpeg this from the sides. And that will free this thing from here. And actually this is fit right into here, this black piece in between. So just make sure that releases. And that'll get everything out of your way. Alright, so now we're going to take the arms, unpeg them from here. Rotate the flat side up so you get that clearance. Make sure you unpeg these panels too. It can be a little bit challenging, so you can use a spudger to pop these panels out on both sides. And now we've done that, now we can take this and rotate this up. Yeah, make sure you do that first. Fold that up, rotate this, and then rotate that up. Right, now we're going to take this entire top piece here. We're going to rotate these down just so they're out of our way. And actually we can fold up these wings because they're just going to get in our way. So get that down, down, and out of the way. Alright, now we're going to take this whole top assembly, rotate this all the way down to there. And you're going to basically get this rotated 180 degrees. Get this all the way around so it looks like that. What is this? Okay, there we go. And next we're going to take the arms here and we'll take care of all that. So you can go ahead and rotate the hands down, or the legs, I guess. These are the feet, by the way. You're going to collapse the chest, but not all the way down. So if you collapse it all the way, it looks like that. That's not what you want. You want to collapse it till the first click. So you have to do it kind of slow. So you can hear that? So that was the first click. That's where you want it. You don't want it all the way down. And it's a little tricky because you got to get it like perfectly on that click. All right, so it's going to actually end up looking like this. But we want to take this, unpeg this from here, rotate that down. And this is going to come down on the back. These are going to fold straight back. These hip skirts here. And hard to explain how this is going to sit because of the way it's oriented. But basically you're going to get these arms to peg in right here. So these tabs have to end up here. That's the best way I can describe it. So bring these upward and around. So they end up like this. And you're going to rotate these so that you can fold this way. And then you're going to rotate on the top so those tabs are on the inside. Right? So again, rotate the elbow and then rotate this. So it should end up like this with your elbows facing inwards and then these tabs on the inside. You're going to take this, fold this back. And I really don't like how this works, but bring these down. And it's almost like not an exact science. Fold these forward, just one click each, or 2 clicks each, I think. And then you're going to get these tabbed in. That's what's going to hold it together. I really don't like the way it goes together, but that is how it goes. All right, there you go. So it should be something like that. Not the most intuitive, and certainly not, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Earlier I mentioned there's a part here that is supposed to rotate outwards, but the way it's attached, it actually came off. So this is attached with a screw, and it goes right here, and it's supposed to rotate outwards, but they attached it with a screw, so you're rotating it on the screw, and it does loosen. This one fell off. I haven't been able to reattach it. I'll just show you on this side. If you rotate that out, that's what it should look like. Right, should have that peg there. So not a big deal, but just silly. Like, why put a rotating piece on a screw that you're unscrewing? Anyway, you're going to bring this in. You're going to rotate the foot all the way around. And there's a little slot right here. that's going to go into that thing you folded out. So this one, obviously, we're not going to be able to do it because there's no more peg. But basically, it's going to sit somewhere around there. And sorry for cutting away and putting this in, but not only are you attaching these here, but these are actually going to tab in right there on the sides. They fit loosely, but that does help to hold these pieces on the side. For this one, we can get it. So we're going to rotate this, rotate that around, get this up, line up that hole with the peg, and it can be frustrating to even get it in there. I really don't like that, how that works. But all right, so something like that. And then this is just going to sit on the back. This is a painted surface. You want to be careful with it. But so we're in the home stretch here. So we're going to take these. And these are going to rotate to the front. You're going to get this down and back into this groove here. Oh, and this folded down. Yeah, these hip skirts are annoying. They're supposed to sit straight like that. You can take this panel here on the back. You're going to rotate out these little black panels. Hopefully that was on camera. These little black panels right here. That's going to fold downwards. It's going to hide the landing gear underneath there. And then these red panels are going to fold down. It just covers down on the back. It doesn't attach or do anything. It's just for looks. All right, now we're going to take this panel. This is going to come down and fit right underneath there. You can see there's a little groove in that black piece. Show you again on this side. Get that little black groove underneath there. So it sits right there. These arms are going to sit like this, but we're going to open them up. So bring these out to the side. You're going to open it up, this way. The entire panel. And there's the hand. Don't just go grabbing the fingers. You'll pull them off. So use a spudger to pull this up. Grab the actual wrist, right? Not the fingers. And then you can get this folded all the way out. Then you can fold that back in. Get that hidden away. Don't forget to come to the bottom here. Fold out these heel spurs. That definitely helps with him standing. He's pretty unstable in this mode unless you have these out. All right, last but not least, we're going to take care of the head. So here is that gorilla head. Pretty nice looking, or the color. I had trouble getting this to fit in here. So before I broke it, I wanted to make sure I could fit it. So I shaved a little bit of material off the front right here. It is painted, and that's why it doesn't fit perfectly. Once you do that, you should be able to get it in here. It is still a tight fit, and there is Kingorilla in his gorilla mode. I kind of don't like it, but I mean, it is what it is. I guess this is what he's supposed to look like. The head sculpt, I will say, looks really cool. You can angle this back and forth. It does rotate around on that headmaster head. You can actually open the mouth, and there's two little, cannons in there. That's really cool. It's a cool little detail that they worked in there. Shoulders can rotate all the way around on a ratchet joint, out to the side on a ratchet. You have an elbow joint here. The wrists can move up and down, and then these wrists can move up and down here. These are a little bit on the loose side, so I recommend just tightening the screw for these lower hand joints or wrist joints. You can get him into kind of like the more traditional, gorilla pose if you want to. And I think that looks okay. But if you wanted something like that, you can do that. Continuing the articulation of the legs, go back and forth here, out to the side on this joint, and then the knee joint can bend back and forth, and then the foot can bend back and forth and side to side. So if you wanted to get this out, just one click, you could do that. Now for the accessories, you can do the same thing that we could do before. So you can come to the back. We can take the panel here, and if you want, fold these down like this, get these plugged in. And have it kind of like in that configuration. And then there's a tab right there. You're going to get that plugged in right here, I believe. There you go. And now we can have that backpack. That's pretty cool. So final recommendations on the KFC Kingorilla. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. But I got to be honest, I was considering retroactively going back and changing my score for the Kingzilla Plus version to a 3. And I also consider giving this a 3. For me, it's right on the border of a 3 and a 4. What I really like about these figures is the look. It was a great decision by Keith to go back and repaint these figures. Totally changes the look of these. I wasn't even interested in this figure until I saw the painted version. And now this thing pops. In all 3 modes, it looks really good. I do like the gun effects here. The cockpit is kind of cool. The fact that the guns and that shield piece will work in all 3 modes. You can display it on the back, or you can display it on the ship mode. You can have the guns mounted. All of that really kind of adds to playability factor, which is something not all figures these days can do. But where this falls down is little fit and finish things, and that tends to be KFC and XTB's downfall pretty much always. For me, this figure was still good enough to be a recommend, but things like the fact that this little pin, peg fell off. Now, it wasn't a big deal because this has another way of attaching, right? There was that other peg that was holding it on. But that shouldn't happen, right? You shouldn't have pegs like that falling off. The other thing is the wide ratchets on the hips and the fact that it's a little bit springy. You put him down and he doesn't, it kind of goes like that. And then these hip rotations are a little bit loose. So sometimes he will, not stay in the pose you want. So you just got to balance him, but I still think it looks good. It's just, little things like that, keep you from fully enjoying it. So you just got to watch out for things like that. But other than that, really fun triple changer, really good repaint from KFC. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.